Hey guys, CreamCrazy here. Welcome to my Battleground 2013 predictions video. Now, if my voice sounds a bit funny and a bit quiet for its nature, well, I'm in a function room here at the university campus where I'm recording this right now as we speak. It may sound a bit weird, but yeah, I still haven't got any internet, but that will not stop me from making a video for you. And you know what? I'm going to still be watching the pay-per-view here at the campus on Monday morning anyway, so I haven't got a lecture that morning, so I can take the risk. Anyway guys, I haven't been watching Raw or SmackDown since I got here, so these predictions might not be the best I can give, but at least I will do my best nonetheless. Now, Battleground has not been seen as a decent pay-per-view by many, and to be honest with you, I can see why. I mean, the matches don't look that appealing, but in all fairness, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, because honestly, what are they going to do? One feud completely overrides the rest. They haven't shown enough depth in highlighting that there's many worthy feuds for the rest of them. And in all fairness, I can see where they're going with that. I can see why people are complaining, but you know what? I go into pay-per-view every time with an open mind, so why not tackle with these things first? Now, let's get on with this then, shall we? Predictions start off, of course, as always, with the pre-show. We have Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow facing off. Now, when I found out this was a pre-show match, thanks to the little amount of 3G that I have in my house at the minute, I thought to myself, for the love of God, why? Why even think about doing that? Why think about putting two guys who are of at least main event caliber in one case and potential main event caliber in the other? You've got one who is a former world champion against the other who is going to be a potential world champion, being Money in the Bank holder. To me, the match doesn't make sense. Them feuding, I would have really liked to have seen in a better position, because the chemistry on the mic with these guys could have been interesting to watch. And the fact of the matter is, I haven't had much time to give it a watch, if there has been any of it. And the fact of the matter is, if I was going to really pick a winner here, I would think that Ziggler would let Sandow get the win here. I would think that because Sandow needs a victory. Sandow needs to get put higher because he hasn't been winning many matches. Sure, he's been losing them, but he's saying, oh, I'm still Money in the Bank winner and your future world champion. That isn't good enough. You know why that isn't good enough? It's because it is stupid to think that you can be the next world champion when you get your ass kicked every time. So you know what, Ziggler, I know you're a fan favourite, and the pre-show match typically has a winner that's a face in it. I understand that, but for Sandow's future and for him to rise up the card a bit further, then come on, give the intellectual saviour of the masses at least one chance to do it. Come on, one chance is all we ask for. And next up, Kofi Kingston versus Bray Wyatt. This is a weird one because it only really became a confirmed match this past week. It was, in fact, only had 1 week's worth of build. Kofi Kingston, of course, attacked by Bray Wyatt and his Wyatt family, and a cryptic message was posted out, and here we have a match. This, I really don't understand why it's happening, mostly because I just don't like random occurrences and weak amount of build. Highlights that they're running out of ideas. Kofi Kingston hasn't had the best luck since returning from injury. He hasn't won many matches, and whenever he has won a match, it just hasn't seemed, well, to put it the best way, like it's going to help him at all. Bray Wyatt, okay, he won his last match on pay-per-view, which was the Ring of Fire match, the Inferno match of Kane. But then since then, I haven't really seen much of him in the ring. And you know what? I want to see more of Bray Wyatt in the ring. And okay, sometimes I've seen him on Raw where he's just decimated people and made a damn good job of it. But we need to see him do more. And I want to see Kofi get the win here, but it just, to me, doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Bray Wyatt just seems is going to continue his push, and then he gets beaten by Kane whenever he returns, whenever that may be. Who knows? Honestly, I don't know when it's going to happen, why it's going to happen, etc. But we'll do what we can to try and judge it. Next, the Divas Championship. We have AJ Lee versus, I think it's Brie Bella, I think. I'm always never entirely sure which one, because honestly, I don't really give a crap about the Bella twins. Who in the hell does, honestly? Also, I will say, whichever Bella twin it is, again, I don't know which, congratulations on your engagement to Daniel Bryan. I hope he gets a victory, just to hope it all goes well. Again, they're trying to make AJ look like the heel in all this, and like I said at last pay-per-view at Night of Champions, trying to make a Bella Twin a face in any role in this is a stupid idea. Trying to make them out to be the faces is a bad idea. Now, of course, getting the Bella Twins, or the Bella Twin that's involved with Daniel Bryan, involved in the main storyline, like I heard this past week on Raw, is a good idea. That one can be a face, but the other has to be a heel. For God's sake, they do not act like faces. They don't talk like faces. Fucking, they don't even look like them either. So, you know, if I was saying WWE right now, if you were going to put a title belt on a Bella Twin, that would make sense because they are the face of Total Divas. It would make perfect sense, but again, AJ Lee is on fire right now on the mic, in her in-ring skills, a little of which she can show. I would keep the belt on her. It may seem a bit boring, but it just seems obvious to me that AJ Lee needs to continue a winning streak, and at the moment I am 3-0 on the heel to face ratio. Heels are winning at the minute in my predictions. Next, Curtis Axel versus RTruth for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, this is a little bit of a tough one, because I expected fully to see Curtis Axel lose the championship at Night of Champions. I saw that from a mile away, and it didn't even happen, so I got shot in the head there for that one. This one, I don't know why this is happening, but again, I haven't been watching this past couple of weeks, because again, no internet. Curtis Axel, I honestly don't think has been the best IC champion. I mean, his status has risen a little bit from where it was before, but the title's status has declined a bit. RTruth is on Raw most weeks. He is wrestling matches, in most cases either getting his ass kicked or, in one odd case, winning them. It would give RTruth some purpose, and him winning that title would be nice, but I would rather have seen Santino Marella go after it. I know he's been IC champion 2 or 3 times already, but that would make more sense than RTruth. I mean, sure, Axel kicking the crap out of RTruth a couple of weeks in a row has led to this, but where does it factor into Heyman? I know it would have been a bit better for Kofi to get a rematch, because obviously with Punk and Kofi going against the Heyman guys would make perfect sense because they've been tag team champions before. But WWE will not see that. They won't see it at all, and it would be rubbish to even consider it. But I want someone else's IC champion. I don't want it to be RTruth. So the idea in my head is saying that Curtis Axel, they're going to think, is going to need a bit more time as champion to build himself more. But I don't think he's going to be given that time. I really don't. I really don't think he's going to be given that time, because the crowd reaction to him hasn't been very positive. Even though he's been getting a lot of positives for his in-ring ability as of late, he hasn't been getting too much reaction from the crowd when he speaks, when he does anything of any significance. Even when he just walks out onto the stage, it's just complete silence. So you know what? Give the title belt to someone who can get the fans off their feet. That would make some sense. RTruth can do that. I mean, people, even the adult fans, give a crap. So, in my honest opinion, even though I really want to say that Curtis Axel will retain the title based on that idea, RTruth will have it for me. I'm unfortunate to say it, but RTruth is going to get it. No questions. Next, the World Heavyweight Championship match in a no-holds-barred anything-goes match, or being referred to as the Battleground Hardcore Rules match between Del Rio and Rob Van Dam. Now, this one is a little bit interesting, because there's been rumours circulating that they want Ricardo Rodriguez to turn heel and join up with Del Rio again. Like I said at Night of Champions, it's probably not going to happen, because Ricardo is too over for that to work. This is the match, like many I did say last time, that Sandow could easily win it, but they did the wrong thing at the last pay-per-view by making a controversial win for RVD. He won by DQ, and honestly, I just keep thinking to myself, if they're going to make it possible for Sandow to cash in, make it happen on an RVD victory. And I don't think Ricardo would turn heel to make Del Rio stay as champion, because people have been saying that Del Rio is boring at the minute. He's not really making any sense as a reason as to why he should be champion. He's just wrestling matches and getting on with it. But then some people might say, in a legitimate sense, that's good enough for them, because there's no storyline crap attached to Del Rio. He's just a good wrestler whooping ass. That's all there is to it. But the fact of the matter is, Del Rio's personality is boring. And to be a champion, you need a personality. Now, while I like him as a wrestler and his old gimmick His old gimmick with the cars before he turned face was glorious. This, however, is not. Del Rio looks very, very stale and very bland at the minute. And getting rid of Ricardo Rodriguez has helped confound that. And honestly, Rob Van Dam is a wrestler, of course, you know, guys, I'm not a big fan of his, but it would be kind of awesome to see RVD as champion again, because he's actually put on a damn good job working his ass off to get to where he is now. He's been on Raw and SmackDown weekly, he's wrestling matches and willing to lose when he needs to. He's not doing a bad job. I mean, he's doing better than Rock did. So he's done his workload, he's pulled his weights, and you should give him the title. But of course, there was a rumour that he's on a 90-day working clause contract where he has to work for 90 days, then take a break, and then work for another 90 days. Or, in some cases, work 90, rest for 90, work for 90. It's a weird situation which kind of makes you think, will it be Del Rio? Will Del Rio surprise us by winning a no DQ match, something he hasn't really done many times when he won a last man standing match against the Big Show, for God's sake, which is one of the only ones I can really think of him actually winning it. Okay, no, he did win an I Quit, not I Quit, he won another last man standing match against Cena, but there's no pinfalls in those. So I want to see if Del Rio can win a no DQ match like that well. I mean, sure, as a face, he actually won the world title in a no DQ match, but again, it was done by a count out. Was it done by last man standing? I don't even remember anymore. My mind hasn't been on wrestling as of late, so you can kind of see why my mind's a bit, well, shit. Fact of the matter is, I want to say that RVD gets the win, and if Sandow does cash in, in all fairness, it would be a good time to do it. Problem I have with this, RVD winning and then going in a feud with Sandow would be the best possible option. Mostly because Sandow, the intellectual, versus the, well-known weed taker, would be something of an interesting storyline to go down. But then again, do you really want your world champion being belittled for drug problems? I don't think the WWE would want that. I don't think they want to go down the Punk Hardy route again. I don't think they would want to tackle that at all. And in all fairness, though, it would be fun to see, but I just keep thinking that WWE likes Del Rio, and if the contract situation's in place for RVD, then they're going to keep Del Rio as champion. Whether it's going to happen or not is completely up to whether you guys believe it's going to happen, and whether I believe it's going to happen. To me, RVD as champion right now, in the absence of a WWE champion, in the absence of a face actually making some waves and actually getting people to be happy about the situation for a change, because all the champions are heels, remember? It would be good to see a popular guy like RVD return and actually earn a belt. Yeah, Rock, think about it for a second. This is how you do it. So yeah, I would give it to RVD, but I'm still a little unsure. Little unsure. And you know what? Doesn't get any better than that, folks. Sorry about that, I still have a massive cough. Next, well, this is the one match, ladies and gentlemen, I am looking forward to more than the rest. Which says something, but then again, I am loving the storyline, and I'm loving this part of it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the main feud in this entire situation is, of course, the McMahon Helmsley family versus not just Daniel Bryan and the whole company, but the Rhodes family as a core unit. And it is fan-bloody-tastic. Cody Rhodes and Goldust, with Dusty Rhodes in their corner, will take on the Tag Team Champions, The Shield, in a non-title matchup. And remember the rules. If Goldust and Cody win, they get their jobs back. If they don't, they will never work for WWE again. Now, the one thing about this that really kind of gets on my nerves a bit is that stipulation. Now, I know that obviously Cody is not actually performing as a WWE performer. He is technically being signed on as an independent contractor for this match in, well, quote-unquote realistic circumstances, folks, if you want to break kayfabe down, and that's exactly what it is. Fact of the matter is, I am looking forward to seeing how this plays out, because it just, on the wall, looks like it is going to be a Rhodes family victory. And that is just how it's going to be. But I would wish the titles were on the line, because that would be kind of funny. It would be kind of like the situation where they get their jobs back and they've won the tag team titles. Something we'd seen these two brothers as tag champs would be something fun. Or are they going to do that at Hell in a Cell or Survivor Series? I don't really know. I don't really understand why I should know. But I want to say this. The Shield have held the tag team titles and beaten just about everybody. It would be interesting to see a team actually beat them on pay-per-view and do a damn good job doing it, because these two are going to be fighting for their jobs. They will want to do what they need to do. And what Dusty Rhodes will do there, I have no clue. It should be kind of interesting. And what's kind of cool, something to point out here, guys, there's no Dean Ambrose in the bloody picture. Come on. They've got to put Dean Ambrose in here somehow. It's a bit lazy, you know? The stipulation basically means a Rhodes win, but I want to think there's going to be a swerve in here. I want to say there's going to be a swerve in here, but you know what? I'm not entirely sure. And that's the beauty of this. You know, this is the reason why I love doing these analytical predictions. It seems so obvious, but the fact that it is so obvious highlights that there's going to be a swerve somewhere, and I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell is that? What is it going to be? But you know what, I don't really understand what's going on. I haven't been watching too much, but Dusty Rhodes' mic work has been fucking glorious. So yeah, I'm going to go for the Rhodes win, just because it's painted on the wall, but if they swerve it, hallelujah, it happens that way. Next, we get CM Punk versus Ryback. Now this is interesting because, of course, it wasn't this time last year, but it is about 3 weeks down the line last year. The heel-face alignment was switched, and Ryback was on course to become a WWE champion, but of course, that ain't gonna happen. And now, well, look what's happened here. Punk on the face, Ryback on heel. I mean, look at that, folks. It is something great to see that. At least I want to see a proper match from these two. Because remember, all through the time these two feuded between October and December, there was nothing but screwjob finishes. And you know what? There could still be a screwjob finish. And Ryback, while he hasn't looked the strongest in recent times, he hasn't been on pay-per-view for a while, people would think that him getting the win here would make sense. But Punk has lost too many matches in really crap ways since coming back, minus the Jericho date return, obviously. He's lost every single match apart from that. So he needs to rebuild himself. Okay, he's being portrayed as the hero who is being stomped down at every single occasion, and he's coming back looking stronger every time he's being stomped down. But maybe Punk is too strong here. Who knows? And the fact of the matter is, that's what makes it interesting. You know, I don't know where they're going to go with this. Ryback needs the win because he hasn't had the best year. I mean, he's lost everything. I think he's only, I'm not even trying to think what match he's won on pay-per-view. He's won one match on pay-per-view, and I can't fucking remember what that one was. Shows you how much my memory has gone since the internet's not been around at my house, huh? Then again, Punk losing wouldn't be too bad, but it would just set up another Hell in a Cell style thing, where of course Punk will end up winning in the end under those circumstances. Heyman will probably get involved here, and it'll probably just go the same way. But I don't want that to happen. I want Punk to get a bit of advantage. I want to see Punk actually getting something. Because remember, in most feuds, the face winning does not necessarily mean it's the end. Because that will just mean the heel will come back even stronger and try and whoop more ass. That's what I'm looking for. That's the kind of thing I'm wanting WWE to do, because it just makes sense. Punk has been pushed down and beaten up to the point where we kind of lose the idea that he can actually fight his own battles properly. But then, of course, he shows us he can, but when push comes to shove, the big moment happens, it just doesn't seem to work out, whether it be interference, whether it be the opponent being stronger than him, in Brock Lesnar's case. I mean, the idea that Punk will lose this match seems more annoying to me than with him winning. If Ryback needs the win, I can understand it, but Punk winning just makes more sense to me. That's all I can really say. It just makes more sense. Punk winning would set up a Hell in a Cell nicely, because then, of course, say in a match for number one contendership for Randy Orton's or Daniel Bryan's championship, Ryback and Heyman can come and whoop the crap out of him, cost him the title match, and then make the Hell in a Cell match a massive possibility. You know, that's what makes this interesting. Punk winning will make Ryback an angry, angry man. And that's what the brilliant idea of this. If Punk loses again, it's just going, okay, it's like the Daniel Bryan idea. He will win, then get stripped of it, which will make us want to see him win even more the next time. Punk losing will make us want to see Heyman get his ass kicked the next time. But they can't just keep doing it. They can't just keep advancing the narrative of the storyline in that way. It doesn't make sense. It will never make sense if they just keep drawing out the same conclusion all the time. That's why we got sick of Cena winning in the same way all the time, you remember? That's why all the IWC kept ripping on him, because his matches always end the same every time, no matter which feud he's in. And if this feud keeps going on, with each match victory for the opponent of Punk being the same, then it will just become repetitive and boring. People are starting to not care about what Punk is saying, because the storyline is going in that direction. And the homoerotic undertones of the Ryback-Heyman relationship is actually kind of freaky, and I don't want to see that anymore. You see, the thing, if Punk gets the upper hand, Heyman won't be up his own arse, and that will make him a scared, frightened, and angry person, and that's what I want to see on my television screen, or my internet screen, or my computer screen, or whatever the hell I'm viewing this from. You know, honestly, guys, Punk has to win here, and it just makes sense. If you don't think it makes sense, think about it for a second. Just think about what I've said. It does make sense. Punk for the win here. If it doesn't happen, then I'm thinking, WWE, you're running low on ideas here. Just make it happen for the sake of my sanity and my voice, for the love of God. And then finally, we get to the main event. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan for the vacant WWE Championship. Now, remember I said that the last match at Night of Champions would be a complete overblown clusterfuck? Didn't really happen, did it? No. This is going to be, however, just that. This speaks to me as being an overblown clusterfuck, because you have a vacant championship. I mean, of course, my idea of a championship scramble involving the main players of the storyline so far is being chucked out the window. The 2 days after I post that blog, this gets made. It's annoying, but okay, let me just get off that tangent for a second. Vacant title. There's no obvious issue as to saying who's going to get pushed from this, who's going to get de-pushed, who's going to go in and interfere, and who's going to be there to help them win, and there's no swerves. It's just going to be the better man winning. But of course, that's not what this is going to be. We obviously know that there's going to be an impartially chosen referee by Triple H. It's all going to go nuts. And the problem we have here is Daniel Bryan winning will just continue the repeating storyline of him getting that title and then having it taken away from him due to some dubious thing. So, for example, if Daniel Bryan is helped by someone like Big Show, he will lose that title the next night. And just like the Punk scenario, we do not want to see repetitive nature of our narratives. That's going to be very boring. We're not going to find it very interesting on Raw each week to see the build-up of this. And honestly, it will be making it far more interesting if we get some interference that descends the match into chaos. The match then gets restarted, and then we see a complete slug out. Everyone gets removed, and then we kind of see, okay, who had more of an advantage before that? Then we can find out who wins this match. Because that's the thing. Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton have a lot of people on their side who can help them. Daniel Bryan has his new wife, his fiancée, technically, in that term. He has the Rhodes family, he has Miz, he has Big Show, he has Ziggler, he has loads of people backstage who are pissed off, and they will want to do what they can to make their mark. Randy Orton, well, basically, he's got Vince, Stephanie, Triple H, the whole of the Shield, all behind him. And to be honest with you, anyone like Damien Sandow, I mean, who literally kisses their ass, that, again, is how you can get the Sandow-Cody Rhodes feud back into stow, if you get what I'm saying. But this is the thing. Who has more power going into an overblown clusterfuck? That's the thing. Because even though Daniel Bryan would have more manpower on his side, the weight of authoritative power from the Corporation 2.0 would be too much. Because this just seems to me like Orton is going to win it. It just seems to me that Randy Orton, based on how the power and the weight of that power can be shifted, this is all being done to make Daniel Bryan look look weak against the corporation's power properly. Because having Daniel Bryan win and then have it stripped from him shows that Daniel Bryan is capable enough, which we've already known for a long time. And if he loses the title in dubious circumstances, it doesn't make the authoritative power of the corporation look strong at all. It makes them go, oh, you know what, we didn't get what we want, so we're just going to make it what we want and get rid of that. That doesn't sound very positive from a storyline perspective. These guys are a big power. They're a conglomerate of power at the top of a company that's massive. You want to see, in my view, I would say, I want to see this, Orton and the corporation highlighting that power, making themselves bigger and better for the power advantage they have. And you know what? Triple H can reverse the rules of any match at any time. He can do what he wants. So, think about it. And with Stephanie McMahon recently proclaiming that she's the owner of the company now, which apparently is to make Vince McMahon come back, think about that. The idea of the implications between owner and COO having so much power on their hands, it just seems Orton is going to win this, whether it's dirty or not. Daniel Bryan is... I would like it if Daniel Bryan, after an overblown clusterfuck, gets pinned clean. I would love it, because it would make sense. Wouldn't it, folks? It would make sense to have that. Because we've seen Bryan dominating on pay-per-view, then on Raw being made to look weak. We don't want to see that repetition. We do not want to see Daniel Bryan just on one night a month prove himself worthy, but the rest of it he's thinking, I can just sit back and let the rest of it build for me. You know, that's not the Daniel Bryan we know. And Orton winning, it would just make sense to me to put this through to a Hell in a Cell. Because remember, after the overblown clusterfuck, Vince McMahon may switch sides and be impartial and say, we don't want to see that kind of overblown clusterfuck again. We are going to put you guys inside Hell in a Cell and we'll find out who truly is the champion. You know, that's where they want to put the storyline. And if that's the case, that they're going to push the narrative in that direction, based on the declining viewing figures making any part, we will need an Orton victory. Now, many people are saying, of course, if Daniel Bryan loses, the internet will go nuts, it'll blow up in a sea of hatred. But listen, Daniel Bryan needs to lose for the sake of this storyline's freshness, the sake of the storyline's natural line of continuity. It needs to stay that way, because this is going to go on for a while. It needs to be stretched out. Because if Daniel Bryan wins again, what's that going to do? What excuse are they going to make up that we are going to see right through? We're not stupid, but you know what? We are stupid enough to believe that just because he's the guy we support, he should win. It doesn't happen all the time. Everyone knows it. It's in every bloody storybook out there. Orton, as a heel, has to win this. And that's just how it is. I would like Daniel Bryan to win again, but after what happened at the last pay-per-view, where I really did not want to see that, it's annoying me that even the thought that they will do it again. So you know what? Give Randy Orton the win, please, for the love of God. Just because it makes perfect sense. Okay? Good. Ooh, this is a shorter review than I've ever done before. Guys, predictions are done. I hope you've all enjoyed this, and I hope you're surprised to see a prediction video from me at this time. But then again, I am at the campus. The internet here is free, and it's pretty damn good. So yeah, I will be watching Battleground. I will be on Facebook and Twitter all night, so you guys can get into that. In fact, if you want to see, if you want to go to these things and get in contact with me, all you're going to do is click on the links to my social networkings in the description box below. They will have all of it there. And you know what, guys? If you liked your predictions and my predictions, well, what are yours? Comment down there, like the video, and if you haven't, click the subscribe button, because that's important. Subscriptions mean happiness for me, and honestly, it means I have more of a reason to keep doing content. I know it's been a long 3 weeks. I haven't posted anything, but I'm not missing pay-per-views for anything. I don't care if I have no internet. I am still doing what I love doing, and that is analysing WWE on pay-per-view for you. That's what I do, and I will continue to do so. Guys, I have been Cream Crazy. You've been people listening. This has been my Battleground predictions, and I will see you guys next time. Cream Crazy's Wrestling Mat, representing professionalism in the YWC since 2010. Cheers!